Welcome to the AMC Stock Story Podcast. I'm your host, Russell Corey, and this is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. This is solely for entertainment purposes as I talk about my experiences of investing in AMC stock and becoming an AMC ape.
Episode 104, Ape Going AMC. Hey, welcome back to the AMC Stock Story. This is also going to be on YouTube. So if you're watching this on YouTube, there's no fancy slideshow. This is the podcast that I do, the AMC Stock Story podcast. It's very casual. It's kind of like just hanging out at the water cooler. That's why there's a water cooler on there. And I just talk about what it's like being an AMC investor. You know, my thoughts and my feelings. I don't do technical analysis. I don't do predictions. I'm just an average guy that got into this play to try and make some money, some life-changing money, to give a better life for my family, for myself. And just like you, I got caught up in this adventure. I don't do the podcast as much as I used to. Part of that reason was when I started it, I had more free time, and I don't have that now with work, with my family. That it's harder. And also, you know, I do a lot more work on YouTube, to be quite honest with you. But when some big news happens, I like to do an episode. Obviously, we've had big news happen. So welcome, come in, get comfortable, and let's talk about Ape Going AMC. Now, I was going to originally call it AMC Going Ape, and then I realized it's really about Ape becoming AMC. Listen, I want to say this right off the bat. If you're an ape, you have your opinion on this, and you're entitled to your opinion. Just because you may not agree with me and my thoughts doesn't make you a shill, doesn't mean you're working for a hedge fund. We might have different opinions, and I just want you to know, if you believe one way and maybe you don't agree with some of the things I say, I understand your feelings. I'm with you. We're still apes, and let's hope for the best no matter what happens. Okay, so obviously everybody knows the news that broke that they're gonna, try to merge Ape and AMC back together again, and once they do that, they're gonna go for a 10-to-1 reverse stock split. So I was up early watching pre-market, as I do. I'm a degenerate AMC investor. I'm up at middle of the night checking on my stock, seeing how things are going, and this night I was up, and I noticed AMC just went off a cliff, and I'm like, what the hell just happened, right? And then as I started to look on the message boards to see what was going on, I think it was Mass Investor had a tweet about what was happening with Ape, and it was going up, and I couldn't believe it. And I saw what was happening. What a crazy morning. And I went and I actually woke my wife up. And I showed her what Ape was doing because I didn't know if it was going to stop. I thought, it could keep going to $4, $5, $6. And you never know if it's going to stay there or if it's going to crash. I've seen too many times these things go on a run. And they have that peak moment. And if you want to use that as a selling opportunity to, make some money, God bless you. That's your right as an investor to do that. I've been holding, I'm not a day trader. I don't have it in my blood. But I woke my wife up and I'm like, hey, look at this. Something's happening with Ape. And we watched it. And we watched it go up to $1.60. And then it started coming down. And, it's one of those things that you never know. Should I have sold it? Should I not have sold it? And it came all the way down to $1. And I'm thinking, man, maybe we should have sold it. We could have sold it at $1.60, bought it back at $1, and made a little bit of money. Why are we always the bag holders? Why are we always the ones still holding? But we didn't. And quite honestly, we didn't know what was going on, right? It's probably not a great idea to make a big financial decision if you have no clue what's going on. And slowly we started to pick up the story of what was going on. We didn't sell anything. And it was a lot of fun watching it do what it did, and thankfully it hung in there. It didn't get back yesterday to 160, but it did, get to like 130, and it was respectable. And then AMC, went all the way down to $4, And it clawed its way back to, $4.95, I think, at one point. Anyway, one really great thing happened. It's actually not so great too. Throughout this adventure, there have been times when I promised my wife I was done investing. I was done buying AMC. I wanted to get to this point, and I got to that point where I'm done. I'm not going to buy any more AMC. And inevitably, I bought more AMC. And usually I would do it on the dips. Towards the end, when it got really cheap for AMC and APE, I was buying it. And I had, gotten to some nice round numbers for me. I'm a sucker for a round number. And I was like, all right, we'll stay put. We have our investment. It's easy to remember how many we have. That's one of the things. I'm like, oh, how many shares do we have? And if it's a nice even number, it's easy for me to remember. And we were at those numbers. But then, I looked at APE, and it was at 70 cents. And I knew there potentially could be a day when APE and AMC come back together. Not sure when that was going to happen, but I knew it could. And if it did, if AMC was still significantly higher when it merged with APE, which would be significantly lower, AMC was going to take a big hit. And I said, in order to hedge against that, I'm going to start buying a lot of APE while it's, below $1 and below. So that's what I started doing. Even before that, when it got into the $2 range, I started buying it, but really more aggressive once it hit that dollar spot. And then for the last time, the day before all this happened, I was looking at it, and I was close to a payday, and money's tight for us right now. But I had a little bit. I had to sell my crypto investment because I wasn't sure what was going to happen with crypto after FTX. I could not afford to get that locked up in one of these, brokerages, these crypto brokerages, or have it tank. And we needed to pay bills. We needed to make sure we had access to that investment. So I ended up selling our crypto investment. So we had a little bit of money. And I said, you know what? I'm going to buy another. I bought 400 APE. All right. I bought 400 APE at 70 cents. And then I'm watching it. I bought it at 70 cents, and I'm watching it, and it goes down to 69 cents. I'm like, oh, go up a penny. Go up a penny. And I'm like, fractions of a penny, I'm sweating it out watching the ticker. At work, I have my iPhone on, where people can't see it, and I can kind of see where it's going at. And I'm pulling for it to just go up a fraction of a penny. Anyway, and I'm hoping it doesn't go, back to 65, and, my wife finds out and I'll be in trouble, right? Anyway, so you can imagine how it felt watching this thing go from, I think it would dip down to like 67 cents before it ripped up, to $1.60, and, ended up in that, mid-low dollar and change range. It felt really good. It's been a long time since it felt good to be an AMC investor, and yesterday felt good watching it go up. I hope you got some enjoyment out of that as well. So that was nice. But like I said, I knew this could happen, so I was buying APE. I bought AMC too, but mostly I was buying APE towards the end, just because you could buy so many shares for so cheap. It's kind of like I got into AMC late. I got into AMC in late May 2021. I didn't get in, at $4 or $5, $8, $10, $12. Once it got into the mid-20s, that's when I first started buying, but then it started going up. I did get in before it ripped up to 72. We were there for the day it went up like $30. I think I was on June 2nd. We were there for that. Anyway, I knew this could happen, and so the big question is, am I a yes or am I a no? And I got to say, I'm a yes. Now, I understand if you're a no. I understand why you don't trust Adam Aron. I understand why you don't trust AMC executives. I understand why you don't trust the SEC, the government, the market makers. I don't have any trust for anybody anymore, to be quite frank with you. And you probably don't even trust YouTubers. You may not even trust me, right? But I get it. I get it. And listen, look at Lou. I know some people hate Lou, but before APE came out, Lou was sounding the alarm, saying this is bad news, this is trouble, you don't want this. But I was excited for APE. I thought APE was going to be a game changer. I couldn't wait, till those little apes showed up in my brokerage accounts. And I would sit there and I'd watch them. And we'd get in one. I'm like, oh, we got him in this one. We got him in that one, and we got all our apes. Oh, we got all our apes. And then when they started to trade, I was so excited. I bought like $300 worth of ape when it was still around $9. And literally for what I paid for like maybe 14, I don't know, 28, something like that, I got 400, shares of ape, the other day. But anyway, I was buying it then, and then when it went down, like I started buying it again. So I was excited about ape, but it got obliterated. AMC lost value. On the eve of ape, we were in a pretty good spot. We had averaged down, and we were feeling really good. And we thought ape was going to be the game changer. And it wasn't. It was a game changer in the wrong direction. And it just obliterated. And it's one of those things if I could go back in time, I would have sold my AMC at $65 back in June. I'm sorry, I would have, right? I'd have bought it back at, $4 yesterday morning, right? And I would have bought ape at, 65 cents, right? And I would have bought when AMC dipped and then it came back and hit 50 again. I should have sold then if I could go back in a time machine. And if I could go back in a time machine, before ape and sell the AMC at $25, I probably would, and then buy it back, right? But I've held it all this time. So I get, why people, here comes another plan from Adam Aron. And I can get why you're not on board with that. I get why you're suspicious. I get why you think Adam Aron works with, other hedge funds and these moneyed interests. He's a 1%er, all right? I get that. But man, I can't be in this play for another year, 2 years. I'm done. I'm ready for this thing to wrap up. I want to, be able to hit that sell button at a respectable amount. And, whether that's going to be getting my investment back, whether it's going to be getting, doubling it, tripling it, quadrupling it, and maybe, obviously, I hope we have a MOAS. I really, really do. That's the ideal situation. But we don't, who knows what's going to happen, right? But I want to get out. I can't be sitting around. I'm not one of these people like, hey man, I'll be here for 3 years. I'll be here for 4 years, whatever it takes. I'm old. I got a young family. I can't sit around with my life on hold for 2 years waiting for AMC to squeeze again. Sorry. Can't happen. So if this plan can force the shorts to close their position, and again, who's going to force them? I agree. Who's going to force them, right? They seem to do whatever the hell they want. The SEC doesn't do anything. The financial institutions don't do anything. One of the reasons they never got margin called for any of this stuff. When they never got margin called because the people that would margin call them knew if they margin called these hedge funds, everything would blow up. So I can, again, understand why people are suspicious about this and have their doubts. Totally understand. But for me, I need something to happen. And this may be the best chance for anything happening anytime soon. And it's funny, I saw this clip of Adam Aron meeting some people. I think it was in Houston. And he was talking with this one lady. Forgive me for not having the name of the YouTuber, but he actually had a conversation with her. And the tone of his voice and his demeanor was like somebody that knew they screwed up. And he was talking about APE and how it was trading at, a seventh the value of AMC or, and like, he's like, we got to put them back together. Like, he realized it was a mistake. It wasn't working. And we had to change direction. And I liked that clip. So that was reassuring to me. Now, was it a put on? Was it staged? Who knows? Who knows? There's only so much you can do. So I know a lot of AMC YouTubers are not for their nose against the APE and AMC coming together and the reverse split. Some people are for one and not for the other. But I'm going to say I'm a yes on both and hope for the best. And hopefully something will happen. So, to everybody out there, good luck with what happens. You have every right to vote the way you want to vote. I'm not going to try to convince you to change your mind. I'm just talking about my feelings and where I'm at. I'm a yes, but I understand why some people are no, and I certainly understand those trust issues. I certainly have them too. I also, I wanted to use this episode to wish everyone, a Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays wherever you are, even if it's just a break. And I hope for the best in 2003. And if you've stuck with the podcast this long, I'm going to give you an update on the future of my channel. Obviously, I started it as a way to advocate for Disney buying AMC. But I wasn't going to keep, harping on that. It's a long shot idea. I see real value in it. It wasn't my idea. I saw other people were proposing this idea, talking about this. It's just that I finally was motivated enough to try and make a video. As a former Disney employee, here are the reasons why I thought it was a good idea. But, I made some videos. I was so happy that it got the traction that it did. But I wasn't just going to keep going because that would just be way too annoying. But I did want to keep posting about working for Disney. I wanted to keep posting about AMC. As you know, I do host, obviously you're listening to the AMC Stock Story. I did have this podcast. So it's a way to make the podcast maybe more available to more people. And the AMC play was really a YouTube and Twitter play. But I'm going to change the name of the channel. I'm trying to decide exactly when to do it. Eventually, I think I'll just put it under my name, Russell Corey. I write books, so I'm an author. I self-publish. Trust me, I'm not getting on it. I self-publish books on Amazon. I don't have a publishing deal. No one would publish my books. But that's the beauty of the age we live in. If you want to write a book, go write a book. And that's what I love about Amazon publishing. And I've been publishing books on AMC. I was inspired by the Marine. He was, organizing these protests at the SEC offices on January 28, 2023. And there may only be a few people that show up at this. But he's going forward. Even though some people don't want him to do it, they don't agree with it, he's moving forward. And I've always had this idea of making these AMC books on Amazon and setting them up for free downloads. So APES could download them for free, and then they would end up in the charts, like in the top 10, top 5, maybe even the number 1 book in a subject like investing. And it was just an easy, cheap, free way for us to get, access and spread the AMC message, reform on Wall Street and the corruption that we've encountered, and let people know what's going on. So I started doing that. I've started publishing these books and setting them up for the free downloads. Now, on Amazon, you have to publish it for at least 99 cents. That's the minimum. You have to publish it. So if you see it on there for 99 cents and not free, that's why. And I can only set these books up for free downloads for 5 days every 3 months. So for 5 days, they're for free, and that's when I promote them and I do videos and tell people about them. And then the rest of the time, they're 99 cents, but I don't tell people to go buy them for 99 cents. They're just sitting there till I can do another free promotion, and then I might try to bring some attention to them. But in all honesty, you can hit the look inside button, and these books are set up so you can read the whole book just by hitting the look inside button on Amazon. And also, usually in the description of the book, I try to cut and paste the text of the book in the description. So if you want to read one of these books and you don't want to download it, you don't want to pay for it, even you only want to download it for free, those are 2 easy ways to read these books. There's not much to them. They're very quick. I write very short, easy to read books. You read them right on your phone, and it's really just each page has basically a sentence or 2 on it. So it's easy to read on a phone, and you just flip through it. And I just write them quick and post them and give them away for free. If I could have them for free on there the whole time, I would. But if you want to get them posted on Amazon, you got to at least charge 99 cents when you're not doing your free promotion. So, I've been doing those. So that's why and I also have other videos that I've done. I've been making videos since 1986. So I have a lot of films and videos that I want to do. So I'll change the channel to my own name, Russell Corey, eventually. I think there'll be a transition period where it's, I don't know, Russell Corey, dash Disney buys AMC, or Russell Corey formerly Disney, for, I don't know, a week. I'd like to think, hopefully, maybe it'd be nice by January 1st to change it to the new name altogether. But we'll see. I'm getting ready to do some traveling. I'm going to see my family again in North Carolina. My parents and my brothers and my niece and my nephews. It's been 5 years since I've been back because of COVID and other things. So it's been a long time since I've seen them. So I'm looking forward to that. So obviously it's a busy period. I'm not going to be able to do a whole lot of stuff. So I hope if you're traveling, you have safe travels. I'll try and keep active. I'm probably going to bring my laptop computer with me. And one of the things that, I discovered this about me, that if I'm not producing something, whether it's a video, a podcast, a book, I get really depressed. I think my brain, when it's creating stuff, when it's being creative, it's just active. And when I'm not actively creating something, I think it tends to shut down and depression sets in. So I'm really happy when I'm creating stuff, and hopefully I can do a little bit of it. I've got a week off from work, which is nice, so it's nice to have that free time. So if you're traveling, I wish you the best and hope you have a safe trip. And let's see what's going to happen with AMC. No matter how you feel, let's hope this is going to be good news for us, and hopefully it brings strength to AMC and to APE in the meantime while all this is being sorted out. And hopefully, we'll see a rise in the price. And that's something we can all be happy with to end the year on and to start 2003. And who knows what 2003 could bring. And maybe it'll even bring the MOAS. And maybe that will be the next episode of the AMC Stock Story.